Hi, I'm Paul MacFarlane, professional human being of the 1101 experiment with our latest Any Problem, Anywhere video. So, got a really big one today. Ripped from the news from the BBC News site. It combines sex, violence, war, and money. Let's take a look at this. The story reads, Comfort Women. Japan and South Korea hail agreement. The leaders of Japan and South Korea have welcomed the agreement between their two countries to settle the issue of comfort women forced to work in Japanese brothels during World War II. Japan has apologized and will pay 1 billion yen, 8.3 million US and 5.6 million euro, the amount South Korea asked for, to fund victims. Estimates suggest up to 200,000 women were sex slaves for Japanese soldiers during World War II, many of them Korean. Other women came from China, the Philippines, Indonesia, and Taiwan. The issue has been the key cause of strained relations between Japan and South Korea. Only 46 comfort women are still alive in South Korea. All right. Do you feel this? I mean, first of all, we have something that happened many decades ago, World War II. The ongoing difficulties that Japan and South Korea have, as most Americans can't tell the difference between a Korean and a Japanese person. But we have the repressed sexual nature that is often seen in this part of the world, combined with historical attitudes about war and sex. So 200,000 women were forced to have sex with Japanese soldiers. Now, ordinarily, a brothel is a place of prostitution where people pay money to have sex with other people. It's called prostitution because anytime you do something you wouldn't ordinarily do unless you were being paid, you are essentially a prostitute. I think so. But these were sex slaves forced to, so there was no money being paid until now. Paid to the families of the victims. An apology expressed as cash. An apology expressed as cash. We see this all the time in the courts. Someone is wronged and the settlement is always with money. Justice comes with a price. Slavery comes without a price. Prostitution has a price. War has a price. So, what I think we're looking at here is a tradition that's not really looked at and opened up, and let's open it up now. Why are they called comfort women? Well, it's the sort of Asian politeness about something. But comfort to soldiers. Why do soldiers in war need comforting? And why is sex that form of comfort? Who decided at that time that sex was the way to comfort Japanese soldiers? Who decided to provide the women as slaves? And how long has this been seen as a travesty? And what did it take to this day for an apology to be issued and a check to be written? Who in South Korea decided this was the amount of money that we needed to make it good? And who in Japan's government said that was a right amount to pay? What standard of value could they apply to that? But it gets done in the courts all the time for death, dismemberment, and injury. But now we put it in the theater of war. What is there about the human condition to express a desire for violence through war, and within that, within war, a need for sex that is expressed through the violence of sexual slavery? when we consider the true cost of war, not just the cost of the tanks and the planes and the bombs and the bullets and the caskets and the health care and the post-traumatic distress syndromes, what about the sex slaves? What is there about war, violence, sex, that they always seem to run together? What is there about a celebrity or a government that is shamed via a sexual story, and the need to issue the public apology, to do the mea culpa, to wear the hair shirt, to be shamed, and write a check? In prostitution, you pay for sex. In the sex slave story, you pay as an apology. There's always a payment. Does the payment undo? Does it restore? Does it make good? Is it a fair exchange? Is it reasonable? The story, in the hearts and the lives of the Koreans and the Japanese, was a chance for transformation and renewal. A seeking of some new or renewed innocence, if that's even possible. But I don't think the problem to be solved, resolved, or dissolved in this instance is really going to happen in Japanese or Korean government as much as it is in my heart and mind and yours. What do we accept as far as violence and war in our own hearts and our own minds? And what is acceptable and what is permissible? The taking of many lives, sex slaves, and then saying you're sorry and writing a check. Think about that. We are, obviously. Share this video in our series with your friends who are also world changers and thinkers as we are. And we will be back with another Any Problem Anywhere soon. Whether it's a marketing problem, a branding problem, a social, cultural, economic, political problem, any problem, anywhere.